Alright, today's video is going to be a little bit different from the usual. I'm going to keep it a buck with you guys and let you in on some real world shit. Something that's actually going to help that I've been thinking about a lot in these past few months or so. So, if you feel like you've been in a stuck position, or you feel like you're just kind of dragged down, nothing feels the same anymore, you don't wake up in the morning with the utmost motivation to actually do things, then stick around and listen. And if that's not you, or you just simply don't care what I have to say, then by all means, don't watch this video. Don't waste your time. Go find something that is actually going to entertain you for the next 15, 20 minutes, however long I'm going to be talking for during this. But I think that it's going to be real valuable to you, and it's going to actually help you out. So, here we go. You see, so many of us have had some period of time in our lives where things are really good, and you're really on this, you're really on a good path of moving forward, making progress. And it's not just that you were on a good path of making progress, but you genuinely felt like life was worth living, and you genuinely enjoyed your days. You enjoyed training in the gym. You enjoyed maybe working on your car. You enjoyed going for drives. You enjoyed getting up in the morning. Whatever it was, there was something, or maybe a bunch of things that you really did enjoy about life. And typically what happens is some main event happens in life, whether that's a big bill that came up, something broke, your relationship went wrong, family members, family problems, whatever it may be, something happened, and it threw you off the path that you were on. And ever since you have been thrown off that path, you feel like you've been in this constant cycle of trying to get back to where you were before. And you feel like you know what you need to do, but you just don't quite have the strength to do it. And when you do have the strength to do it, you feel like you don't know quite what to do. And it's kind of this weird cycle of not having motivation and then having it, but then not knowing what to do with that motivation. And that's something that I've battled with my whole life that's always kind of plagued me, is feeling like I'm just missing one puzzle piece to my life. And that if I find that one puzzle piece, that is going to be the thing that actually clips in and finishes the puzzle, and I'm going to move on to the next stage in life, the next level, whatever you want to call it that works for you. But the reality is that I've come to realize is it's never just one puzzle piece that you're missing. It's typically quite a few pieces of the puzzle, and it's not just like you're building a puzzle that just like a regular ordinary puzzle. Life is kind of like you're blind and you're building a puzzle made of braille, and you don't know where the puzzle pieces are because you're blind and you can't see, so you have to just kind of feel around and hope that you find the one you're looking for. And then you got to figure out what the hell to do with that piece, because you can't see the actual puzzle. You'll know what's done once you wipe your hand over it and then finally can feel it all, but you can't actually see what's happening. And I think that's a great metaphor for life, because you can see your future, but you can't really see it, in the sense of you can't see it like you can see the past. But there are things you can do in different ways. You can shift your mindset that allows you to see the future a lot better. And that is what gives you that motivation and that drive to continue pushing forward, to want to do more. And when you were in that time period of your life where you felt like things were going well, it's because there was something that you knew that you were working towards that was actually keeping you motivated. But if you don't have something you're working towards, you're not going to stay motivated because you're not working towards anything. And I'm not going to go too deep on talking about fitness in this video specifically, but one of the great things about fitness is it's an evergreen goal. It's something that you're just constantly chasing progression of your physique, of yourself. So as much as that might seem like a bad thing because you're constantly chasing something you can't catch, it's a good thing because you're chasing becoming the best version of yourself. And every time you get better, you're just becoming a better version of yourself. So it's a goal that continues and just never ends. And that's just one thing that you can hold on to that's really going to move you forward. And with me, I'm super into cars. That's another thing that's really cool about cars is it's there with cars there is an end point of where you reach the car's final form, but that takes a long time to get to, and there's always going to be new things you want to do, new wheels you want to put on, new mods you want to do to the engine, whatever it may be. And it's a goal that kind of drives you forward, and it keeps you motivated to want to continue working towards building your car. But when it comes to life, things can start to get a little dull after you get used to them. And when you don't get that dopamine hit, when you don't get that natural high that you were getting from whatever it was that made you happy at some point in time, whether it be from that event that happened or whether it be from it just kind of plateaued and things got a little dull, it just starts to all pile up and it feels so heavy, like you have a huge weight on your shoulders. You're carrying around not just a backpack with a bunch of weight on it, but like a sled tied around your ankles, and it's just so difficult to walk, and you just cannot move forward no matter what you do. And the reason that what starts to happen is that heaviness gets worse and worse and worse, and as that heaviness gets worse and worse and worse, you start to kind of do more bad habits, and you start to let go of your good habits, which in hindsight makes it seem like you're doing less things, you're enjoying your life more. But if you look in the long term, and not just super long term, but even you look a couple months, like a month or two out, those bad habits that you added on or the good habits that you took away, they really take a toll on you and they really start to drag you down. But if you would have just continued to stay healthy, even if you got a little bored of whatever it is you were doing, it would have been so much easier to light back that, use a spark to light that fire back up, to continue pushing forward if you continued to stay healthy and continued to stay fit. And if you want to continue to have that, if you want to continue to have that feeling of motivation that you're actually, doing something you enjoy, you can't, it's not just as easy as having a goal of getting a better physique or having the goal of, putting new wheels on your car. You need to have a very large goal. You need to have something that is almost seems impossible, so that you have to work so hard to actually get that goal. But that's only the first step. Like you have to have that goal that's so big, but you also need to have micro goals in between that, it's kind of like if you're trying to, lure an animal in or something, you put a bunch of small pieces of food until you put the really big one at the very end. You've got to have a bunch of little micro goals that you want to accomplish for the big goal to be, for you to be able to achieve that big goal. And now delayed satisfaction, delayed gratification is a great thing. And that's why you don't want those micro goals to be too big, but you do need a couple micro goals along the way. That way it continues to help you move forward. And if you're locked in, if you are dialed, you know that you're on the right path. But being locked in and being dialed isn't just enough to know that you're on the right path. you need to make sure that you know that whatever it is that you want, whether it's that dream physique, that dream car, is going to happen. And it's not just like you're gonna say, oh yeah, I know it's coming. No. You need to treat this like you have a cashier's check that has been already written for $1 million. And it has already been put in the mail. And it is already on the delivery truck. Now that delivery truck might be really far away. And that delivery truck might get delayed by stuff that happens along the way. But it is actually on the way. And every time you fall back into your bad habits, all that does is slows down the delivery truck. But it doesn't ever stop it, and that truck doesn't turn back around and just say, no, I'm not going to give this to you. The truck continues going as long as you continue working. As long as you continue to stay healthy, as long as you continue to be thankful that you still have life, that you're still able to breathe every day, that you're still able to walk, that check is on its way. And if that check is the dream physique for you, it's on the way. You just need to do the work that it's going to take in order for you to actually get that physique. Like, you need to train in the gym. You need to diet properly. And if that check for you is the life that you want to live, then you need to do the things that are going to allow you to live that life. If the check is the car, you need to find out the amount of money and the work you have to do in order to be able to get that car. If that check is just paying off your debt, you need to find out what it is that's going to allow you to pay off that debt. But the point still stands that you have to do something. You can't just continue waiting around. Because if you do wait around, that delivery truck's going to get stuck in a traffic jam, bumper to bumper traffic, with a police escort stopping the freeway. And you don't want that to happen, because that is not a good feeling. And that's the exact feeling that you're feeling right now. That's why you feel like your body is so heavy. That's why you literally feel like you're sitting in traffic for hours while you're hungry, you need to piss, and you're tired. Because the delivery truck that has the check for your dream life is stuck in that traffic. Because you are stuck in that traffic with your habits, with your mindset, with the way you act. And it's going to be difficult. I'd be lying if I said it's going to be easy. It's going to be a lot more difficult than you really think it is. But at the same time, it's not impossible. It's 100% possible. Because if somebody else could do it, so can you. And if you know somebody else that has done it, who has something that you want, I want you to think, why can they have it but you can't? And I want you to come up with a few reasons. And after you come up with those reasons, I want you to really look at them. And what you're going to realize is that all those reasons that you made up were just excuses. That's why I said they're reasons that you made up. Because they're not real. They might be roadblocks, but they're not real. Just because you were born into a poor family, just because you don't have a lot of money, just because you have some sort of a health problem, just because you're extremely underweight, just because you're really overweight, whatever it is, just because you're super unhealthy, just because you have a terrible job, a terrible boss, terrible family, terrible relationship, whatever it may be, it's all an excuse. It's all things that can be fixed. And even if it's something that can't be fixed, it's not something that's actually stopping you from moving forward. There's endless things you can do to continue to move forward. But you are the only one that is choosing to not move forward. Nobody else is actually stopping you from hitting that goal that you want to hit. Nobody. You're the only one that is stopping yourself from hitting that goal. And if you want to say, oh no, well, God hates me, God's punishing me for something I did, the only reason you're getting punished is because you're allowing the punishing to happen. You're not doing what you need to do. And if you're somebody that says that you don't deserve it, and you don't feel like you deserve it, it's not because of something you've done in the past that's making you feel like you don't deserve it. It's because of something you're doing right now. But guess what? The second you stop doing that thing that's causing you to feel like you don't deserve it, or the second you start doing the thing that will cause you to feel like you deserve it, is going to allow it to happen. And that's going to cause that delivery truck to actually speed up, because the check of your dream life is on the way. And the harder you work, the more you do, the less you self-sabotage, the faster that truck will drive. And that truck has no speed limit. It can go as fast as it needs to. It will go as fast as you're working. And then next thing you know, it's going to feel like tomorrow that dream life actually arrives. Because you are so much closer than you actually think you are. So much closer. All you have to do is just take that one step. That one step of moving forward that you're not taking is the exact step that's going to change your life.